Hey VC, it's Matt again. Hope everyone's having a good night. I thought I would do yet another record review. Uh, if anyone's keeping score at home, this would be review number 3. Um, and what I thought I'd do is something a little bit different tonight. The first two I did were albums from the '60s, "Smile" and "Face to Face" by the Beach Boys and "Face to Face" by the Kinks. So I thought I would um, show everyone that I am aware that music exists that came out this century and that I know some of it and even like a little bit of it. Not a whole lot of it, but a little bit of it. And this is well, the album I'm going to review tonight. I picked it because of music. If I had to pick my favorite album from the last 25, 30 years, this would get the top spot. Um, this is Stone Rolling by Raphael Saadiq, album that came out on March 25th of 2011. Um, here's his, I'm not going to review this one, but I just thought I'd show it because I have it. The way I see it, this is a 2008 release, also a great album. Um, Saadiq was in a um, band in the 80s and 90s called Tony Tone Tone or Tony Tony Tony. Not sure exactly how you pronounce that, but I'm not familiar with them other than I've heard of them, and I think I heard a song or two somewhere back there. But this is um, this is like I said, his latest release, 2011, and I heard about this on a. I think I've mentioned Black Cat Bone, which is a music message board that I go to, been going to for a long time. People talk about music of just all sorts of music, and this kept coming up um, over and over. So I thought I'd check it out, and I checked out a couple of video clips just to see if you know, and I really dug it. So I ran out and bought the album. Um, I'll show you real quick the front sleeve. He's kind of, I don't know, some kids that are dressed up like '60s or '50s or '60s era fashions. And on the back, I know there's glare on here because it's got the shrink wrap, but that's Saadiq there playing guitar in front of the kids at a like a high school auditorium or something is what it looks like. The inner sleeve you've got still going to have some glare, but there's Saadiq mid-action singing a song with the kids behind him. Other side is the lyrics and the credits for the songs. The album, kind of cool, kind of an old style Columbia label, pretty neat. And so yeah, and like I said, I'm not a huge fan of music these last few decades. Just a lot of it's just awful in my opinion, and a lot of it just sounds like by the numbers, just kind of all sounds the same, and no real no real substance to most of it. But I don't want to get on that high horse right now. I want to talk about the something that I really do like. And when I got this album, this just blew me away. And I listened to it. You know, I got it in 211, and I listened to it. And this is the first time in a long time that I'd done this with a new album, where I just listened to it over and over. The record came with a CD too, so I was playing that in my car, going to and from work for several days, playing the record at home, and it's been forever since I've done that with with a brand new album. And I can, you know, it brought back memories because I can remember being younger and doing that with when I got the at the time brand new copy of London Calling or Sound Effects by the Jam or Purple Rain by Prince. You know, I remember the um, When Doves Cry being on the radio, but I hadn't heard any of the other songs on the album. And I went to see the movie with some friends that first day it opened, and so that was kind of the first time I heard all the songs on it. And I remember going from there straight to the record store to buy the record, and then playing that to death. And also had a cassette of it because back then cars had cassette players. Um, but I mean, it kind of I did that with this album, and the other thing is that kind of passed the classics test for me, which is classic. I mean, it's kind of goofy, but classic equals quality plus time, if that makes sense. Quality, that's a subjective thing. That means you like it, which whatever you like or whatever I like may be probably going to be different. But time means that a lot of times you, or I anyway, with a record, song, a book, a movie, just kind of hits you at the right time, and you think that's really great stuff. But then you encounter it again, say 6 months or a year or 2 years later, and you're thinking, well, what was I thinking at the time? Because it's really not all that great. So classic is something that you think is really good, and then you can come back to it 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years later, and you still. So, I got this. I played it over and over and over for a week or two, and then the CD was in my car and popped it in several months later, and I still thought, man, this is a great album. And I've done that several times since then because I've had this album for a couple of years now, pretty much. So what is this? This is well, it's soul, it's funk, it's rock and roll, it's kind of not really blues, but kind of bluesy, and it's not it's not just like he's trying to do the old soul sound, the classic soul sound of the 60s and the 70s, and he does it, but he's not just slavishly copying that sound. He does a good job of coming off sounding like that, but he's also got his own sound to it, so it's kind of not contemporary. I mean, they don't break out in rapping in the middle of a song or anything, thankfully. But I mean, it sounds fresh and new, but it also harkens back to the old sounds of the 60s and the 70s soul, if that makes sense to you. And I was thinking, I mean, something like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like Harry Connick Jr., when he was big back in the early 90s, I thought he was pretty boring, but a lot of people, a lot of the girls liked him, and he was kind of wanting to do that, or he not kind of wanting to do, he was doing that crooner style of music, the kind of big band crooner style of music, and a lot of the girls really liked that, and I was like, I mean, he's just copying what other people have done better, or have done before and done way better. So, if you want to listen to that, just go listen to Sinatra and Bing Crosby. Why do you have to listen to this kid do a second-rate knockoff of what they did 40 years ago? But, so, I mean, it's not, or there's the Stray Cats, and I like the Stray Cats, I like them a lot better than Harry Connick Jr., but their whole rockabilly thing where they were all about the image and getting the look right and the sound right, and they were good, fun songs. I like the Stray Cats all right. Don't consider them a great band, but they're a fun band. But if I want to listen to rockabilly, I'm going to go and listen to the real stuff, Gene Vincent and the Blue Caps, and Eddie Cochran, and stuff like that, instead of somebody that's just trying to copy that whole image and sound and package. And but my point in all that is that Sadiq doesn't do that. I mean, yes, he's going for that old school soul sound, and he gets it, but he does it in his own way, and he's not just slavishly imitating um, Marvin Gaye and all that stuff. He's doing his own thing, and it sounds really great. But that said, if you're a fan of 60s and 70s soul, and you're an older guy like me that's kind of like and been haven't been no good music in 25 years, which I kind of am, check this out because you're probably going to like it. If you like the old 60s and 70s soul, if you like the funk and Sly Stone and Curtis Mayfield and Marvin Gaye sound, and kind of sounds like classic 80s Prince in parts. and I just said he doesn't imitate all those guys, and then I'm naming off all these, name checking all these influences. So I mean, you can hear that stuff in there, but he does it in his own way. He's not sitting there. He's not a Prince clone trying to be, or trying to be a Marvin Gaye clone. He's doing his own thing, but you can definitely hear that stuff in here. So the songs, and here's the other thing. I mean, it's not a bad song on this album, in my opinion, and that's really rare, especially nowadays. I mean, that was rare enough back in the what I consider the glory days of music, but nowadays, I mean, and you start off with a song called Heart Attack, which I just played a little clip of at the beginning. That's just kind of an upbeat, great opener, kind of a funk rock and roll, just hit you right in the gut to start off. Then you go to the second song, which is called Cheerful Title of Go to Hell, which is slows down a little bit, but it's just as powerful as the opener. It's kind of a driving, build-up soul ballad with singing in the background. That's kind of like a gospel choir sound in behind this sort of majestic, swelling music. Really great song. Radio is another that was just a great pop rock song, soul song. It's got a good beat and you can dance to it, like they said in Dick Clark's show way back in the. Then I mean, in this album, it's just like boom, 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 boom in the opening. I mean, the first 5 songs just don't let up, and it's just should have been hit after should have been hit. Just great song after great song. And reminds me of Purple Rain album in that way. Not that it really sounds like the Purple Rain album, but just like one great song after another, and just catchy as can be, and just just wonderful to find an album like that after when you don't find albums like that anymore. I don't anyway. Just run through real quick. Over You got. It Doesn't Let Up. It's just another kind of a circular guitar and organ going through the song and a pounding drum beat. And it kind of lyrics is just perfectly sums up that feeling when you're head over heels over some cute girl that you just met, or crazy about some girl. A little bit Prince sounding, but that's a good thing. You got Stone Rollin' is the title track, and it's just sort of a stone cold groove soul, just a kind of a just a kind of a swampy southern fried soul stone cold groove beat. I mean, it's just a great song. A little more laid back than some of the others on side 1. And Daydreams is just a kind of a just a like a just a upbeat kind of chugging along, almost a rockabilly type song in some ways. Kind of a funny little song lyrically, but so that's side 1, and I mean it's just high energy, old style soul, rock and roll, funk, beat, dance, just a great throw it on at a party type thing, or if you're driving around and need some upbeat music, I guess. Side 2 kind of slows down a little more, but in a good way. It's kind of a slow groove 70s type soul, not cheesy, it's not the hey baby what do you, but it's just kind of a little more laid back and reflective, kind of a good late night record. Side 2 is great vocals, great drums, guitar throughout. Got a bonus track at the end that's really kind of neat. Sounds like a Sly Stone or a Prince song in all the best ways. That's not just imitating, not just like a cheap imitation of those two guys, but a really good, inspired, good song. Album only got to number 14 in the U.S. unfortunately. Got to number 7 in Norway and number 8 in England, though. So I guess they got a little bit better taste over there. But so yeah, I don't know anything else to add to it really. Just wanted to make sure I'm not. Yeah, that's it. It's a great album. Like I said, if you already heard about it, and I've seen this on the VC's Facebook. People have listed that they're playing this. I mean, people know about it out there. But if you're into old music and you don't pay much attention to newer stuff, uh, this is one you're probably going to want to check out. At least go to YouTube, bring up some clips of songs, listen to, or go to Amazon, listen to those little 30-second clips. Because if you like that 60s and 70s sound, I've said it 20 times now, but this is great stuff. Album of the year of 2011 for me, and I can't think of a better album that's come out. I'd have to go back to 84, 85. So I'm sold on it. I think you ought to check it out. You might enjoy it, and we'll talk to you later. Have a good night. Thanks to everyone that watches and subscribes, and we'll see you guys.